Out of the blue of the western sky comes Sky King. As we say here in the West.
Hey, good evening, folks, crew, everyone. Welcome back. We are back after, 15 days, 14 days, a long time. We took off for the holidays, and we are back to get rolling with our series of shows that we do here at NBL Entertainment on the HWWS network. Along with my lovely co-hosts, Rosemarie Rose and Jerome Connor. How you guys doing? Welcome back.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Are you guys well rested?
No.
I am. I can say that it was a much needed break, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. You had the last show, Rose, I do believe, but the show before that was our unexpected show here on Classic Television SmackDown because of the passing of Betty White. So we did a show in honor of her. And here I am thinking, well, okay, I'm not going to lose a day from this vacation. Well, yeah, I lost a day because Betty White died. Betty White kicked off. So that was a great show. We had fun during that show.
That was a great special edition, last minute, beautiful tribute.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and getting to know a little bit about Betty White and her past and things. Well, hopefully you guys are around. If you are in our chat room, you guys can start chatting anytime you want. As I remember how all this stuff works, because we've been away from it so long.
Yeah, you were on the beach, pal, so don't start with me about your,
Yes, I had an enjoyable time. Christmas on the beach. Oh, I was there New Year's too, wasn't I? No.
Yes, you were.
It was Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Okay.
I think. I have no idea what I did. I know I didn't go New Year's only because of the fireworks.
New Year's was when we did Betty White because she passed away.
Oh, that was our New Year's Eve program. I'm such a dork. Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. Welcome everyone that's watching. Classic Television SmackDown is a show that we do every other week. Okay, so of course you're not going to see this next week, and we basically focus on shows, live action shows that we grew up with, because on Saturday morning, specifically tomorrow morning, we do Saturday morning cartoons, which of course focuses on cartoons, animation from our youth. So hopefully we can show you things that you've forgotten about or you've never seen before, talking about the past, because that's what we like to do. And it seems that since everyone from our past is kicking off now, my God, we might have a lot of shows. Bob Saget, guys. Seriously?
Hey, did you also hear that Dwayne Hickman died?
Yeah, he died the same day, and his death was overshadowed because of the Bob Saget thing.
That's too bad, because he was Dobie Gillis.
Dobie Gillis.
And
he and Bob Denver were best friends in real life.
That's correct. Yes, I was about to say the same thing. Dreamer Denver, who was a host on our show in the past, was married, of course, to Bob Denver, and it's funny, but I sent her condolences too. I'm sure some of you guys probably have as well. Well, for some of you guys, I know it's cold out there, right? You guys cold?
Yes.
Yeah. Those of us that live in the South actually are cold too right now.
Hey, go ahead and start.
Yeah. We have
different.
Look, anything under 70 degrees here is when we start to evacuate the state. All right.
Yeah.
Terrible. So I had to turn the heat on.
Do you want me to send you a parka?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jerome. Do you live somewhere where it's really cold?
Single digits, pal. Single digits.
What the hell is single digits? I'm sorry, but I don't follow.
Choose a finger.
I have been in single digits before. In fact, one Christmas I visited my mom up in Baltimore.
I was going to say, you're from Baltimore. You know what it's cold's like.
I know what cold is, believe me. But it was 9 degrees that morning that I was.
See, single digits.
I cannot even imagine. I've never seen snow, guys. I've never seen snow.
Come, Rose, come north. I'll get you some.
You know, Rose, I was dating someone. I took her home with me, and it was so funny. It started snowing as we were driving on the highway, and she freaked out because all the flurries that was hitting us, the windshield. By the time we got to the hotel, she went absolutely nuts, got out of the car, stuck her tongue in the air, made little snowballs. Guess where I was?
In the hotel.
Still in the car watching her flip out. We hadn't even taken our bags out to check into the freaking hotel. So
when I was dating Cara before she moved in and all that, she had brought her friend from Australia in.
Ooh.
And when she landed and she's in the car, and she goes, "What's with all the white sand on the side of the road?"
Yeah, white sand. Yeah, that's funny. That is. But I know what snow is. I want to show you guys something real quick before we go on with the show, as hosted by Jerome. Let me do. How do I do this? Share screen. This is something. This is a work in progress, guys, and it's a pain in the butt. It's so much work, so much content I'm trying to put up with. This is our Facebook, our new website.
Ooh.
Like I said, it's a work in progress. And as you can see, all the links that are up here at the top. How do I singleize the screen here?
I don't
know. So I'm working on it as we speak. And like I said, it's a lot of work. So please bear with me. I was hoping during my time off I would have time to actually do this thing, but I was playing around with different website creators, put it that way.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah.
So it will improve. This is where Roses and Reactions are, and as you can see up at the top, we're at Roses. Mark knows everybody. Lupo and Lee. Meet the team. HWX Web TV team and convention appearances.
Yeah, I got to get my show built.
Yeah, as some of the tabs here. So bear with me. At some point in 22, this will be up. I say that loosely. It might actually be a New Year's Eve show. But that will be our website coming up. So bear with us as we move along with that. Okay, today, or this evening, shall I say, it is the return of Classic Television SmackDown. And during the beginning of hello, hi Cheryl, sweetie. During the beginning, wait a minute.
What?
I did not type this stuff. I did not do that.
That's wild.
Is somebody taking?
I typed in hi Cheryl. I typed in hi Cheryl.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't know it would come up as you. I thought that all of us had done it.
You're in the studio. You did not use the link, did you?
No, I did. I did in the studio.
That's why. Okay. You're in the studio. I'm saying, what the hell? All right. So you don't speak out on me again. When you're not doing a show, use the link, please. Oh my God.
You thought we had a hacker?
I thought we had a hacker.
I thought so too. I'm sitting here freaking out. I say, wait a minute. I didn't type all this stuff. No. That's me. And I'm like,
live and learn.
My hand is on the mouse. I'm not doing this hacker. Okay. So anyway, all right, hacker. So we got a great show for you today, I'm sure. And this show is going to be run by Jerome, and it's a very, very interesting topic. So Jerome, why don't you take it away, sir?
Okay. Well, hey, some shows that we've seen have such great themes that the public demanded that they were released as singles. And these all chopped the charts. As a matter of fact, with the exception of the last two, every single one of you that you're going to see tonight is a top 10 hit. And we're going to talk about the last two later. But these are the actual openings we're going to see tonight, not the releases, because when they were released as singles, they would usually go anywhere from 3.5 to 5 minutes. As a matter of fact, one of them that I actually played the theme as a single was 5.5 minutes long, and I'm like, no way, we're not playing that long. Also, these are not the shows that were featured. The songs that were featured in the shows. Think of the Partridge Family's "I Think I Love You." Any of the Monkees songs that they played in the actual show. We're not doing that. That's a show for another day. These are the actual theme songs that you saw that had the credits of who's in it and whatever. And some of these were songs that you would watch them do the opening, and then you turn the channel to go to another show because the show wasn't that great. We got one, and we're going to talk about on that. And so, this is that show. I did this for a couple of reasons. One, our illustrious host, Mark, is a big music guy. He loves music, and I figured after the craziness of the new year last year, I figured I should, make sure Mark gets a nice Christmas present. And this is my Christmas present to him.
Yay.
Yeah. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about these. We're going to see these now, and basically tell us how you felt about these shows when you saw them, when you turned them on. Did they make you feel good, or did you go, oh God, I'm watching Dad's show again, whatever. So, or did you think some of this stuff was really cool stuff? So we're going to start with the first one. It was 1959. This is a number 1 hit, a number 8 hit, but it's known everywhere today. So Mark, could you please run clip number 1, please?
Once I figured this out, I totally forgot how to do all this crap.
Oh, yeah, Mark, this is the Dragon Play, isn't it? I don't know.
It's not in this one. It isn't. All right, okay. Here we go. You want clip number 1, right?
Yes, please.
I am looking forward to hearing clip number 1 as I drag this out. Okay, here we go. We gotta drop the room, huh?
Okay, so number 8 on the charts, Peter Gunn, written by who? Who do you think wrote that?
Henry Mancini.
Very good. The man who later brought us the Pink Panther. This song this theme won both an Emmy and 2 Grammys. So this was incredibly popular. It is known everywhere. It was one of the popular choices when I did a poll last week on my personal Facebook page. This was a very popular one. As a matter of fact, an author I know later went on to talk about this rather extensively on his page because of what I brought up.
I want to know who she is.
Probably one of the femme fatales.
Okay. All right. It's too bad. She's probably Betty White's age by now, right?
Probably. So any thoughts on Peter Gunn, guys?
It's a cool song. I really liked it, and every time it came on, I tapped my feet to it. It's a great song.
Rose?
This song was also used in the movie 16 Candles.
During
like what I think it's like they're in the car and Brian, not Brian, but the nerd guy. He's
Anthony Michael Hall.
Car. Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall. Yeah, I was thinking of Brian from Breakfast Club, but no, it's Anthony Michael Hall. The geek is the name of the character. Ted, the geek.
Yeah.
Driving in the car. Yeah. So yeah, this song has permeated pop culture, So
this was used in the video game called Spycatcher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did I know that?
Yeah. Oh, I threw many a quarter at that game. All right. So the next one is yet another hit. This was a number 3 hit in 1966. Started off in the UK, not with this song, but when they brought it over here to the States and changed the name of the show. The show was originally called Danger Man. And then this was changed to another title, and they used this song in seasons 2 through 4. Go ahead and run clip number 2.
Yeah.
I know you're getting to it. I know you're getting to it.
I feel like this. Okay, hold on. Let me say this, please. I feel like Scotty on the bridge. Yeah. What did you say, Captain? I'm doing it. Oh, you know what?
I'm giving her all she's got.
You can't change the laws of
again.
physics, Captain.
I played the first one. Where is? I numbered all of these. Okay. Sorry, I was. Okay, Captain. We're leaving now.
There's a man who leads a life of danger. Everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. Read every move he makes, another chance he takes. Odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man, they're giving you a number and taking away your name.
Man, that dude. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
My bad.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
There's a man who
forgot you had
leads a
Ingrid.
life of
Okay, you can stop it anytime you want.
Oh, okay.
Everyone he
All right.
Still a
So
great song.
it is. It's a great song. I've done karaoke to this song. Of course, I was slightly inebriated at the time. So, who sang this, guys?
Stuck in a Crawl. That's oh my God.
I don't know. I just know I used to hear the song all the time on the
Johnny Rivers.
Johnny Rivers. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this became a huge. This was a hit for Johnny Rivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking of Ronnie, but I had, of course, what's her name from the Ronettes in my
Ronnie
brain.
Spector. Ronnie
Yeah.
Spector.
I knew
Yeah.
I was
Who
close.
passed
I
away
was in
this
the
week,
neighborhood.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Say
know.
again?
She passed
Yeah,
away
she
this
was-
week. Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
someone else that passed. Yeah.
Now the thing about Secret Agent Man was this whole idea is that he actually makes mistakes, gets beat up all the time. He is not James Bond. Okay, even though the song implies that he's James Bond, boy does he make mistakes in some of that. He doesn't use a gun, but he has to basically fast talk his way out of a number of situations where he screwed up. Okay.
Well, at least he's not Agent 86. Okay.
Hey, I liked Agent 86. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so this song was very popular. Everybody thinks immediately of Spies the moment you hear this song. Thoughts on it, guys?
Okay, you know what? I'll tell you this. I never knew this was a TV show. I knew this song a lot
Oh,
because they used to play
really?
it. I like oldies. I did not know this was a show. Okay.
Well, there you go. That's what I love about this.
So you've
That's what I
taught me
love
something
about this.
tonight already, Jerome.
Yeah, that's what I love about this show. You're always learning something.
All right. So during the research of this show for the next theme, okay, I took a look at what many people considered the greatest themes of all time to see if they charted the charts. And on numerous charts, this next show's theme was listed as one of the greatest of all times. Okay, because of the way it was shot, it was influential. The way the music alone is so memorable. You really got a feel for this show by just the opening alone. And I can tell you right now, my father would watch this theme and then he would turn to another channel. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the opening credits in a little bit, but go ahead and run number 3. We'll talk about it on the other side.
Run, Dano, run! That was freaking awesome.
All right, this was number 4 in 1969. Okay, the show lasted for 12 seasons. Think about that for a moment. It went for 12 years.
A long time.
Yeah, it got its own reboot back a few years ago. They used the same theme music. Jack Lord apparently was a jerk to work for, but because he was a perfectionist, and everybody there, nobody had been doing that. There was no film production units in Hawaii before they did the show, and everybody that was local that was working on it sort of made it up as they went along, and created the film production society in Hawaii that they have now. And they all basically say Jack Lord pushed everyone to be really good, which is part of the reason why this show lasted so long. Thoughts, guys?
The show's iconic.
Do you know when I first saw Jack Lord?
I don't know, when you watched Hawaii Five-0?
Nope, he was one of the Felix Leiters in the James Bond movie.
That's right, he was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think
which
wasn't
one.
he in the first? He was either in the first one.
I don't know why I got.
No.
I don't know why I got Jamaica. No, I don't think it was. I don't know. I really don't know. But I had Jamaica in my brain for some reason, so it could have been one of those. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Dr. No.
Anybody in the chat there know which James Bond that he was in? I appreciate it. Yes, the reboot is pretty damn good too. Thank you for that, Sherry. You're absolutely right. It really is. Have you watched the current version of Hawaii Five-0, guys? Any of you guys ever seen it?
I saw a couple first seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the first few episodes, and yes, it's Jack Lord is in Dr. No.
Oh, good. Okay, Dr. No.
Yeah, I saw it. I had a chance to meet one of the actresses because she was in Battlestar Galactica.
Grace Park.
Yeah,
yes.
And then she left for whatever reason. There were some reasons, but this was a show that was, if no other reason, this was such a cool opening. You know, now Mark went crazy over the belly dancer, and I want to tell you what happened to the belly dancer there.
Oh no,
okay?
Better not be bad news.
No. She later went on to become a professor at one of the local community colleges teaching marketing.
Yeah,
think about that. You see that picture of your professor every Sunday night, and then you have to go Monday. You have to go to school and get a paper graded by her. That would be a little awkward, in my opinion.
That is amazing.
But, yeah. So this was definitely one that that created a lot of buzz. Well, now we get into the 70s. And the 70s is where they really started releasing theme songs as singles. Okay. And they really started making the top charts. This next one was number 10 in 1975, ran for 6 seasons, and it was the epitome of cool. Okay. All right. So, Mark, go ahead and run number 4, and we'll talk about that in a bit.
This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
This is Esty, your father's friend. So you helped me move, that's it? You couldn't call? See if maybe I don't like the new place? See if maybe there's some painting to be done?
Awesome show. I watched it all the time.
I watched the first few seasons. As we went on, there were other shows that competed against it, so I went and watched those. But the beauty of this was released as a single, and you could hear this on the radio all the time for a while. The single ran for 4.5 minutes long. Okay, and
so is this like a song? Is this like maybe the first song ever with harmonica as the main?
I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know.
It's as soon as you hear it, it's like Rockford Files. It's just right there in your brain.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, this theme is actually used by some sports teams over in Europe. as their
Wow,
entrance music.
really?
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was kind of funny. Now, back in the 70s, when this show came on, the private investigators all praised the show because they said this was the most realistic show that they'd ever seen. Rockford gets beat up. He, chases down cheating spouses. He does all the nitty gritty, ugly stuff that you don't see in Hollywood, they said, because it wasn't glamorous. And they showed this, with the exception of the high speed chases. They said this was perhaps one of the most realistic shows for a private investigator they had ever seen. And to this day, it's still praised by private investigators. Now,
Look at
you
that
can.
chin.
If you got IMDb television, which is usually available through Prime, you can watch this series. I've been watching it as I did the research on this show. Mark, thoughts?
Oh no, it was a great show. I loved James Garner, loved him in two of my literally favorite cowboy westerns, How to Support Your Local Sheriff and How to Support Your Local Gunslinger.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love this show.
Maverick. He was Maverick.
Maverick, which still comes on. I watch that. It comes on actually daily on MeTV.
Yep.
What's the other one I was thinking of? Not Maverick. It actually is. I'm thinking Brett Maverick. So yeah.
Now here's a trivia question. How many of us here remember the Polaroid commercials he did?
Yep. I still do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. What I forget this actor's name, Jennifer, but it's funny you said that.
It's not Jed Clampett though.
No, it's not.
It's not Buddy Ebsen.
Yeah, he's a very known character actor too. Been in so many guest starring roles on so many series back there in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, all right. So the next one is our first #1 hit. It was 1976. This is perhaps one of the coolest theme songs you're ever going to hear. I still have the 45 disc that it came out on.
Of course you do, because I know I think I know what this is.
This one was the epitome of hip. It only ran 2 seasons. People can barely remember the show, but they know this theme. So go ahead, Mark. Run number 5, please.
Running number 5. Number 5. Where are you? There you are.
Okay, so here we have a young Robert Urich starring in this show. This was a big break for him, but nobody had even heard of what SWAT was until this show came out. Nobody understood what SWAT was. Yes, it has a reboot. It had a movie that they did. But you ask people about the episodes, any of the episodes in this show back from the 70s, nobody can remember it. It was very forgettable, but it had the coolest opening there was.
Yes, it did. It was very, very hip. This was a not the miss show on whatever night it came on back in the day. This was because it was action filled. It was the song alone that hit the charts that made people want to actually watch it again too. So
yep.
This was an excellent series. I really like this series.
And it was interesting. I mean, like I said, this is the first time you saw this sort of action, saw the sniper stuff. Some people didn't like it simply because of the problems that we have today. They sort of saw the militarization of the police and et cetera. And there was serious discussion about this show out there at the time. But like I said, the theme was so cool. You know, like I said, it's
That
sitting
is
in my record
iconic
collection.
70s. It's iconic 70s music.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
it was.
synthesizer sound.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and that was the thing about SWAT was, you know, it was just cool. You know, you'd play this song and you'd feel cool. You know. All right. So the next one is basically a throwback for the boomers. Back to their whitewashed version of history of how great Middle America was. Nothing went wrong. Everything was solved within 30 minutes. It was a happy nuclear family. Go ahead and run number 5, please, Mark.
I shall.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are ours. These days are ours. Share them with me. Goodbye, gray sky, hello, blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right. It can't be wrong, rocking and rolling all week long. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. Grooving all week with you. These days are ours.
Okay, number 5 in 76, 11 seasons this show ran for. Think about that for a second. Thoughts, guys?
I remember during preview week, you know, when these what's coming this September, blah blah blah. I remember literally screaming, "Oh my God, they're doing a show about the '60s!" You know, I watched it in the beginning, and I missed the original brother, of course, but you know, things go on. Fonzie became like, "Oh wow, yeah, that's a great character right there." I knew that show would actually go far when I saw it the first day.
Well, in answer to Cheryl's question, which I was going to bring up, this is actually a spin-off from a show called Love American Style. The episode was called Love and the Happy Days. And it had actually Anson William and Ron Howard in it. And it was a focus on the Anson William character, Potsy. Then they switched it over on the show. Now, American Graffiti came out at about the same time, which is why a lot of people think they're related. American Graffiti was a huge success. A number of soundtracks, which my father still has, plus the popular of it boosted the interest in Happy Days. Fonzie was supposed to be an intermittent character who was not actually supposed to be on the show that often, but the audience loved him. Okay. And I'll say it right now. I had a crush on Erin Moran. Okay.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yeah. I loved her. You know, I'll Be in Freedom. I watched all of Joni Loves Chachi. Okay. Just for her. Okay.
Gotcha.
So this one was no bad language, no mention of things like the Korean War. They mentioned, you know, how Bosley, their dad Cunningham, went to, you know, the Second World War. Everything was perfect in Middle America. You know, there was very rarely any talk of any of the troubles going on in the country at the time. You know, everything is perfect. This is all solved with whatever.
Hey.
That jacket, by the way, is in the Smithsonian.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, haven't we all?
Cool.
Okay.
I have not seen it live and in person, but I'll tell you that this show was like a big part of my life. They had it on reruns all the time. I had a massive crush on Anson Williams. I think he was so adorable. And you know, it's funny to see how, you know, that show really did last the test of time, even after the cast changes and everything. So, you know, it's just iconic. It still runs, you know, on reruns today. And I think people needed that after the whole Vietnam and everything. I think people just wanted to pretend like everything was great. And it was a fun show. It was just fun.
So a couple of notes about Happy Days. One, it spawned a phrase that we're still using today. and that is Jumping the Shark.
Yes, it did.
Now, I don't know if you saw that episode where Fonzie jumped over a shark on a water skis.
Yes, I did several times.
Yeah. It had 3 spin-offs. I don't know if you can name them.
Oh, Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
And
Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. And there was another one.
I already named it once already.
I never pay attention to you.
Joni Loves Chachi.
Oh, that's right. Joni Loves Chachi.
It was a number one show in the summertime.
Hey, Cheryl, do me a favor and make a comment. Jennifer has already posted that she can't comment anymore. I didn't get a hit or a strike coming up as of yet, so it could be possible that somebody can't, but I need to have Cheryl tested by typing something and let me know you're there. Okay,
and let me tell you something about I got something to say about the American Graffiti thing. Sure. As a young child, because I was very young when these shows were on, and I thought American Graffiti was like a movie version for the longest time of Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley, because it had Cindy Williams in it and Ron Howard.
Yep.
So I thought they had like made a movie version. So and that was my little kid brain. I realized later I was not correct.
Yeah, and they also had a very young Harrison Ford in it too.
And Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes. So, hang a second here. There we go. All right. So,
next.
So anyway, so the next show was at the same time. 76 was a very popular year for these things. So this one, I'll be right now, was number one in 76 also, but it didn't get showed very often up here in Boston due to some issues. And we'll get into that. Certain actor got a big break on this show. And I don't even know how many seasons it ran. I know it ran at least 2, because they had a couple of massive changes in the characters and in the people leaving the show. So go ahead and run number 7, please.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Okay, I have the single to this, and I still have it on vinyl sitting at home also.
Right.
Travolta got his big break here. As a matter of fact, right after the first season, he started showing up less on the show because he was starting his movie career, especially after Saturday Night Fever did so well. Gabe Kaplan plays a teacher coming back to teach the same class that he was in as a kid. And it was a very popular show, but it also had problems up here in Boston because they were afraid it was going to incite further violence that was going on here in Boston due to court-ordered busing issues. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to the 70s. But it was a fun show. A number of these actors went on to do other things. We all know where Travolta went. Gabe Kaplan later went on to do theater and became a poker player, and some of the rest of them did some voiceover work. But overall, this was a very popular show in the first season.
Right. Okay.
Any thoughts?
Well, I love the song. I know the lyrics by heart, and that's one of the things about TV show songs making it to the mainstream. Basically, you hear it a lot on your radio, and you're going to start picking up the lyrics. You're going to start humming it to yourself everywhere, but the night it actually comes on. So it's a great show. I love it. John Travolta, loved Saturday Night Fever when that came out, and to see him in this role was totally different.
Yeah. If you get a chance,
he was your crush?
wow, Horshack was the crush. Amazing.
Really?
You know, I do recommend though is if you can find the first season, because the first season was really the sharpest on the comedy. Go watch the first season of this show. It was fun. Did you see this show, Rose?
I saw it in, I think, reruns maybe. This was a show that really didn't. It was about a bunch of guys in a class. I was a little kid. Now, it was one of those ones where I liked the song, and then I probably changed the channel and watched something else after the song. Exactly. You know? But I mean, of course, I remember seeing John Travolta on there play, and he played such a dumb guy. But it's a classic, iconic show. And the song is really good. And it's nice to see that John Travolta went as far as he did. I mean, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
So
okay.
People immediately saw. I mean, you got that dimple, in the hair at the time.
Oh, the hair! It was all about the hair.
And I tried to sneak and watch the R-rated version of Saturday Night Fever because they would have two on cable. They had the PG that they would show during the day, and then at nighttime they had the R-rated version. Which, the only thing is the Donna Pescow scene, is the really big difference in the two. But, it's just like, I get to watch the R-rated version because it's on it after 10. So, that's, where we're at.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of Saturday Night Fever, it was the 70s. And it was the era of disco. Yeah. Okay. Now, contrary to what many people think, I still like disco. I think there was some good songs in there. I like getting up there, shaking my tush up.
I was a dancer at a disco club. I worked 4 nights.
I want to see the photos.
Yeah, I do too. I want to see that seersucker suit.
Never. Okay. Literally, I was dancing till 4 a.m. and had to be to work by 8. So believe me, disco is in my blood.
So did you have like a big fro?
No, that's racist. And number one, that was the 70s.
But 70s. That's all I'm asking. It was the 70s. Okay. Come on.
Hey, white guys had fros in the 70s. Okay?
Yeah, that's
yes,
true.
They did. I know they did, and no, I did not have.
That was a big thing to get the curly hair.
Oh yeah, come on. All right. Well, in the 70s, it was disco, and unfortunately, near the end of the 70s. This whole disco sucks thing, thank you, Ted Nugent, started. People were, destroying disco, but a show came out. And the star was the guy we all know from American Werewolf in London and also as the Dr. Pepper scene guy. Okay, Bill Naughton. He later sang this song, which sadly the show only lasted 9 episodes, but the single, the TV show theme, was released 2 months after the show was canceled. So go ahead and run clip number 8, please, Mark.
Yeah, stand by for a sec. I'm having some everybody's
issues.
Yeah.
Everybody's texting me right now, and I can't even make out what the hell number 8 is. But text me, Jerome, and tell me what number 8 is. Only because
hang on a second here.
They were not named properly by me, so that is
a
user error on my part. Got it. No wonder I couldn't figure this out. I've never seen this show.
Well, no, most people hadn't. It was only
I'm solid gold. I've got the goods. They stand when I walk through the neighborhoods. I'm making it. I've got the chance. I'm taking it. No more faking it. This time in life, I'm making it.
Okay,
this
now
was-
I know why I never watched it.
Number 5 in 1979. This was a summer replacements series, lasted 9 episodes. Okay. I did watch the first 4 episodes and sort of walked away after that. It was a cute little show, working class family in Jersey at night. The guy and his friends hang out at the discotheque. I wanted to do that as a kid. It looked fun. But it basically nobody wanted to watch this show. It's been considered one of the worst shows of all time, according to TV Guide. One of the what the heck were they thinking?
I am so impressed with my bullshit meter that I know what to stay away from and what the final results are going to be for a show like this. So I am happy with myself, even as young as I was when that came out. Go ahead, Rose.
Okay, as soon as you started playing it, this itched my brain. Okay, because I'm like, I know this. I know this song. I never saw this show. Okay,
Right.
but so I'm like, this is from a movie, and so it turns out that they used this song in the movie Meatballs.
Yes,
which
they
was
did.
played ad nauseum.
Yes.
Did
On
they
cable
really?
when I was a kid.
Yes.
So
Wow.
I probably saw this film like 30 times.
Yes,
so that's
you
why
weren't-
the
you weren't- you
song made a
weren't-
connection.
But you weren't impressed with the dancing because
No, this looks like a really bad ripoff of Saturday Night Fever.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a horrible ripoff.
yeah, it's but the only good thing about it was this guy was in the next movie, I guess. David Naughton, but
But
wow.
he's a good-looking man. He's
Yeah,
a good-looking man, and
Is he like werewolves? Yeah, I guess.
yeah, the werewolf movie was really good.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know how he ended up in this one, but that's okay.
But you remember, he was before this show came out. He was also the Dr. Pepper commercial.
Yes,
guy.
I remember.
Yes,
this
he
was
sure
iconic.
was. Doctor, I forgot
Yes.
about that. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah,
And
that commercial made me happy. Every time I heard that commercial, it made me
It
happy.
does. It makes everybody happy. And
Yeah.
and the thing is that's probably what got him the role, because he could sing and dance. This was very very much a 70s show, but unfortunately it suffered from the fact that this show should have come out earlier. Like in the 70s.
And it was probably badly written. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
But-
let me interrupt here for a minute, but without spoiling your next one coming up here. It was probably, if not in the top 5, if not number 1, definitely in the top 5, as the most incredible theme song ever written. And you know how much I like, music and soundtracks
Yep.
and things like this. I listen to lyrics of course. It's not just the beat, but I listen to the lyrics, and I didn't miss any one of these shows. And the fact that what they did in it was incredible. So go ahead, sir.
Number 2 in 1981. Okay. This is a show that they came on, gave 2 actors their big breaks, which we'll get into in a bit. So go ahead and run number 9. I think you'll remember this one.
Look at what's happened to me. Leave it myself. Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
Oh,
Okay.
man, that is so awesome.
So those in the audience who don't know what the show is, basically William Katt and Robert Culp end up in the desert, and they are given this superhero suit to basically fight crime and make the world a better place. The aliens have basically come and explain later in the show that their world got destroyed due to horrible environmental damage. The problem is the William Katt character is walking back to the bus where the students are because he's an idealistic teacher. He loses the instruction manual on how the suit works. Okay, and so he has
I
to
don't
figure
need
this
no
out.
stinking instruction manual.
Yeah.
I put things together in my house. Of course, I won't show you. But without an instruction manual, come on.
Okay, so he loses it. Two actors got big breaks from this. Faye Grant was one of the students, and Michael Paré, who later went on to do Eddie and the Cruiser.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah. They got their big break. They were students. Connie Selica at the time got a big notice on this one, even though she had been in Hollywood for a while. At the time, she was married to Gil Gerard.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, she was. I had such
Okay.
a crush on her too.
Oh, who
my
didn't?
God.
Who didn't? Okay.
Rose, you didn't have a crush on her, did you?
No, I didn't.
I'm just checking. Okay. all right.
Now, like I said, this show ran for 3 seasons. Okay. I watched the first season and kind of walked away because they kept doing the same joke over and over again after a while.
Yeah.
I don't know how it lasted 3 seasons. I didn't think the ratings were that great on it, but apparently somebody did.
Okay,
Right.
let me tell you why the show lasted as long as it did. Because I had 2 friends, okay, and we were in probably elementary, like 5th grade, I think. And at lunchtime, they would get up on the table on the break room table, out in the play yard, and they would pretend to be William Katt, and they would sing the theme song. Okay, we did this like almost every day. We would play Greatest American Hero. It was a big hit with kids. Kids loved that show.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
And I think that's probably why it lasted as long as it did.
Yep.
And
you're right.
you know what? I've met William Katt. He is like what he and I is like. We had like this longest talk. He was one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Great guy.
Yep. Okay. 1985, the middle of the 80s. Okay. MTV. Okay.
Yeah.
This was the MTV Cop Show. This is what cops were meant to be cool. This was the biggest number 1 hit of this list. This song. This came out with an album. There was cool clothes. There was cool things. It took place down by where you guys live. So go ahead and run it, Mark.
Man.
Okay.
I have so many memories on this one.
Oh yeah.
Hold on for a sec.
Fashion
Cheryl,
trends.
could you respond for a sec? I know we still got people still trying to find us. I've been trying to do two things at once. The number of platforms that we record on, you can at least find us on one of those. But I want to make sure that Cheryl is at least on the NBL Entertainment Classic Television SmackDown page, because that's where she's viewing from, which I'm telling people to go see and find. But I've gotten no notices. You haven't gotten pinged by anybody as of yet, but 9 out of 10 will get pinged after the show is over. Sorry, Jerome. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so Don Johnson would do 5 or 6 costume changes per episode. Okay, they would deliberately go out and get rock music for this show. This was designed to be the cool, and this show made impacts that are still being done today. the style that Don Johnson's wearing, no socks, the T-shirt with the sports coat and the linen pants, the way Michael Patrick is wearing his clothes. This show was the epitome of cool for the 1980s. You said the 1980s, Miami Vice had to be mentioned. Everybody I knew back in the 80s in college was trying to dress like Don Johnson. Okay. There was a lot of people dressing like that. No.
Philip Michael Hall. Philip Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah. And just to see a skinny Edward James Olmos.
Look at how young he looks.
This had to be. Correct me, Jerome. This had to be before Blade Runner. I'm thinking, right?
No, Blade Runner
after
was
Blade Runner.
Yes.
It was after Blade Runner. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now,
look at
but
that.
James Olmos came in on the second season, just so you're aware. Okay, he wasn't there in the first season. He came in on the second season. Now, this theme by Jan Hammer won 2 Grammys. Okay, so like I said, the influence of this intro and all that was on shows that were just kept going, and to this day, it's still influencing what we watch on shows. And if you watch some of the themes and openings, it's still there. Okay, now I almost missed this next one. Okay, I almost missed this. In 1974, we're going to go back to the 70s for a second. What we're going to see was a number 1. Now, this was not on a prime time. This was a Saturday morning show. Okay, this was, you didn't watch the other show that this was like. You watched this one to be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Know what cool songs were. So go ahead and run this one.
My family did not miss an episode of this.
Exactly.
This is like one of our Bibles, our Messiah here on screen.
Okay, go ahead.
The hippest trip in America. 60 non-stop minutes across the tracks of your mind into the exciting world of soul with guest stars, the Stylistics, Bobby Womack, Undisputed Truth, and the Soul Train Gang, brought to you in part by the Johnson Products Company, makers of Ultra Sheen, Afro Sheen, and Ultra Sheen Cosmetics. And now, here is your host, Don Cornelius.
Hey there, and welcome aboard. You're right on time for another super slick ride on the Soul Train. We'll get rolling with the exciting Stylistics right after this communication.
Wow.
Easy hitting point. Okay, so you wanted to be hip, you watched Soul Train. You did not watch American Bandstand. Okay. This is just it. This is an introduction to America. Mark, were you in that crowd dancing?
I was not, but I have something to say about that crowd dancing. Okay, about 70% of what you see in the dance line, me personally working at clubs for a long time, a lot of those dance moves in there, we weren't doing those. Those were professional dancers. Just to get in through the interview process had to be a hoot. Just like you're interviewing for American Idol, you know how the judges are behind the table, you come into a room and you do your best bit. There were some pretty over-the-top people that actually made it on that show. not like most clubs that I worked at, but it was still a staple, you know, amongst my family and my people to watch this. We talked about it after that Saturday. And it was interesting that it was on a Saturday, because after Saturday morning cartoons was basically over, we wouldn't still leave the house because we knew Soul Train was coming.
Exactly. In the 1950s and early 60s, it was American Bandstand, and in the 70s, it was Soul Train.
Right. Soul Train, you were right on that. It was, in fact, an incredible show. Don Cornelius, like I said, was our god, and you know, it's unbelievable. And those products I did use. So yes, we did definitely buy those products. But you know, I was pretty much
some hot-looking women there.
It was some incredible looking women on Soul Train. I mean, it was better than picking up the Montgomery Ward's catalog in the underwear department. I mean, it was fantastic watching Soul Train.
Do you know anything about Soul Train there, Rose?
Oh yeah, it used to come on when I was a kid after the cartoons. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Great
So
music.
between Miami Vice and Soul Train, here are the two epitomes of cool. You know, this was you know, if you were like I said, during the 70s, I mean, up until 1982 when I graduated high school, television presented us images of what hip and cool were, and these were some of them. In 85, I was in college, Miami Vice. In the mid 70s, it was Soul Train. These were the things that basically told us what society was, you know,
Absolutely.
for some of us who basically lived a sheltered life.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Soul Train.
Okay.
Love it.
So I got two more here. One is my personal favorite.
Here comes our hit.
Did we get hit?
Yeah, you ticked somebody off at Warner Music Group.
Oh, I'm probably sure. It's probably, we just got hit now. I bet you it's Soul Train.
Yeah, it could be, but that's okay. I'll challenge it, and we'll get.
It's probably Greatest American Hero.
Yeah, but we're not knocked off. Cheryl, I'm sure you're still posting. Unfortunately, Joe and Jennifer were watching when they couldn't find us, but I had no indication that we were off anywhere. So
okay,
so we're almost done. Go ahead.
All right. So in 1967, this next one was the number 41 on the charts, but this theme and the show itself is basically through our culture. There have been 7 films made of this TV show, okay, starring Tom Cruise. You've already figured out who it is.
Yeah.
This was the show that everybody loved because it was a caper spy show. You had to figure out how they were going to do this con, and it was basically a con. It's what they were doing. So go ahead and put in number 12, please. Mission Impossible. What can you not say that was great about this show?
It was impossible.
My dad had a huge crush on Barbara Bain. Thought she was the greatest. This show, I remember this. The reason this one stuck in me was when I was in the 2nd grade. I was on a military base. The Air Force band showed up. They talked about the instruments, and they said, when you put them all together, this is the music you get. And they played Mission Impossible. And that stuck into my head as a kid and as an adult for years and years to this day. The theme was redone during the 90s for the first Mission Impossible, and was a hit. They did a remake of this show back in the I think it was the late 80s, early 90s. They did, you know, the different movies with Cruise. This show just can't stop. What you're seeing is a later series picture because it has Leonard Nimoy in it instead of Martin Landau. But it was a great show. There's nothing more I can say about it. Okay. Now, I did a personal Facebook post and asked people to tell me their favorite theme songs. I had over 70 entries into it with different choices. And this one won by getting 7 votes from all 70 of the posts as their personal favorites. So go ahead and run number 13.
Oh, you caught me with my pants down.
I know, you got to put your pants back on.
By the way, let me interrupt. We were hit because of Welcome Back Kotter theme, and because Greatest American Hero. That's what Warner Brothers tagged us at.
Okay.
But that's what the 2 songs are. So not a problem with that. What's that? What am I looking for?
Number 13.
Got it. All right.
It's somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I got
Yeah, but we don't want dead air. You've always told me not to have dead air.
That is correct. I'm glad you remember.
In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
Wow.
Yeah. Now think about that one. That was considered the most popular of the poll I did of over 70 entries. The 1980s action show that everybody remembers. This was on a Tuesday night lineup with Riptide and Remington Steele. So this was must-see TV. Nobody got shot. Did you notice that? Nobody ever got hit with all those machine guns firing.
You know why? They were stormtroopers. They were stormtroopers.
They were stormtroopers. There you go. And Dirk Benedict was not the original face.
Very good trivia question. Very
there
good.
You go.
I don't know who was.
Yeah, I can't remember, but he wasn't the original.
Okay.
But yeah, this show, it was an interesting show. It kind of lost its focus near the end, where they brought in Robert Vaughn to sort of clear their name. It was a very strange ending to it. What happened? Well, we got a movie made for A-Team. Mixed ideas on that movie, but two of the guys showed up in cameos. Dwight Schultz, I will say, is a versatile actor. He later went on to Star Trek.
Right.
And I saw him in a dramatic role called Fat Man and Little Boy. Where he was basically, he played Robert Oppenheimer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, those are the themes, the tops with the exception of the last two. Thoughts?
A-Team, the fact that we first saw Mr. T in the Rocky movies. I think it was Rocky 3, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
and then knowing that his career was good, he was just a standout character in society. I mean, everybody knew who Mr. T was. When you get an initial rather than calling out what your full name is, you've made it big. But
he used to be
when you get a cereal after you,
and a cartoon show.
When you get a cartoon show after you, yeah, absolutely.
And he was before Rocky, he was a nightclub bouncer.
He was a bouncer. That's absolutely right. Dirk Benedict, I brought him to Germany one year. He made so much money there. That's when it was still in Deutschmarks and not in the
in euros.
The current euros. Yeah. And I remember him. I spent 90 minutes with him at an American Express office, so he can literally change all the not dollar bills, but all of the cash that he had into traveler's checks, and you have to sign them on site. And then from that point on, we went down the street. I think we were in Cologne, walking the streets of Cologne, Germany one time, and he bought a $400 box of cigars out of the money that he made from that convention. So, really cool guys there. Thank you, Cheryl, for checking in.
Yep. She's right.
What? Look, Tim Dunnigan appeared in the pilot as Lieutenant Templeton Peck.
That's Face.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Nice to hear. I love it. Thank you, Cheryl, so much for that. Go ahead, Rose. I guess
Well, the A-Team was once again. This is a big thing with my two boys who love The Greatest American Hero. This was another one where they wrote stories, they acted out these roles, and I just got to spend time with them on the playground doing. This is another big playground show. They love playing these characters. They would take on the different roles. So those are the kind of memories I have with a couple of these shows.
Yeah, ATM, Miami Vice. At college lunchtime, we'd sit down, talk about it, and dissect the episodes. We didn't obviously play.
You gotta understand, Jerome, where I lived. Okay, I lived in Homestead, which was about it's about 25 minutes from Miami. Okay,
yeah.
So at the time, this was so huge, Miami, because it was filmed down there, and I mean, it was the thing to talk about, especially when you're. A kid, and you're like, oh, there's a show made, not too far from where I live. I can go see the sights. And one of my friends, the same guy who danced on the tables and played the A-Team, his dad worked at the bank where Philip Michael Thomas banked. He was the vice president. So he came into school one day, and he's got this 8x10. And you got to understand, like back then, you didn't meet celebrities all that much. So, I mean, he comes in with this black and white 8x10 signed by Philip Michael Thomas, made out to him, and all the kids just, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it!"
Suddenly, he's the coolest kid in school.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And what was interesting about Miami Vice was when the second season happened. They moved to New York City for the first opening of second season. For some reason, up here in Boston, it got blacked out. There was either an event that happened or there was a blackout or something. And so basically one of the local papers did a scene-by-scene recap for people because they missed it because there was no on-demand or streaming or whatever. So everybody had to, what was happening on that episode, So some weird stuff with Miami Vice. A-Team was great. The 80s and the 70s just had really, really interesting music, So, so that's it. The themes that, the top themes, we'll probably do another one, only this time we'll probably do the worst themes of all time, to see what people have to say about some of them, some that are totally forgettable. But
you guys, you noticed George Takei in this picture down at the bottom right?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I noticed him right away.
Yeah. I love Mission Impossible. One of my favorite shows of all time. So the shows we just showed all had, sometimes the shows were horrible, but other times, they made an impact that just can't be matched.
Yeah, I feel so old because we were introduced to so many unique, innovative television shows that created styles and things of that nature. Current generation now, I have no idea what they're following or what they're trending as, other than anime. Anime has been a big influence on current generation right now. But other than that, the comedies, the situation comedies, the dramas that we all sat around when there were still only 3 television channels, 4 with UHF channels, let's say. These were the things we grew up on, guys. Those of you guys that are watching this for the first time, all the way back to the 50s, the late 50s, I could say, with shows that Jerome showed us, such as this one right here, and of course, Secret Agent Man and Peter Gunn. But it's just been fabulous. You did a great job, Jerome.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. If I can get this off your faces. But anyway, the theme songs that charted could use a part 2, part 3, part 4, however many you basically need to basically, entertain and educate our guests as to what it is we grew up on. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, this is Classic Television Smackdown. We're back off a hiatus, and we have our next upcoming shows tomorrow morning with Saturday Morning Cartoons, and later in that day with Roses and Reactions. Rose, you want to talk a little bit about your show that you're doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Rachel and I are discussing the Amazon Prime show Invincible.
Okay. I am surprised that you guys are doing a show on this. More so for you than I am with Rachel. Only because I love this series. I went gaga over this series. And I hadn't heard a lot of talk about it after it had basically ended its season, or if that in fact was the first season. And I was surprised when I heard you were doing a show on this. I know you're going to reveal a lot tomorrow.
Rachel saw it. She absolutely loved it. And she said to me, you got to watch this show. And I was like really reluctant, like I usually am when she tries to do shows, force shows on me. But I ended up watching it. And there's only, I think, 8 episodes. And it was just like so well done. So, yeah, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the characters and some of the episodes and, you know, what might be coming up next, you know, because, you know, and do some speculation on that. So it should be an interesting show. I think if people haven't watched it, you know, they should tune in because, you know, I think we'll have some interesting things to say about it as usual.
First episode alone was super intense.
That's what drew me to it. I knew it was coming, but the fact that it was a superhero show and especially superhero animation, I'm going to watch it regardless of if I knew nothing about it in the beginning, which I didn't. And I recently went to a comic book shop last weekend, and there was an entire set of Invincible because, you know, these things always start from the comics. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't afford it. Well, I could afford all of that, but I wouldn't. I'm cheap. I'm frugal with my money. And mainly because, will I even be able to finish reading all of these? So I rely a lot on animation series to kind of help me with things that are literally as incredible as I found Invincible. So I'm really happy that you're doing that tomorrow. I'm looking forward to watching it in between football games. But anyway, so it's going to be cool. Jerome, yes, like Cheryl said, it was a great show, great job, and you are back on again tomorrow morning.
I am. I have to go get
Jerome.
I have to get some sleep tomorrow. We're going to do cartoons based on literature.
Yes, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, there's one that's a bit of a stretch, but we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Ooh, did I not write that one? Oh, I didn't. I got to go back and look at that one. But this one, I'll be honest, I forgot that Saturday was my show. So I scrambled on Tuesday and Wednesday to get this thing put together.
I ask you guys each week whose turn is it next week, because I write these down and then we get just so jumbled with, you know, guest hosts and things of that nature. I can't remember all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we had this long gap. We had this hiatus, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I remember tonight's show because I'd been working on that one for a while, but this one I just kind of went, Rose sends me a text going, isn't it your show? And I went, oh no.
Yeah, well, it's like you said, like she said.
Yeah, if I don't see it by Tuesday, I start to kind of small panic, you know?
Hey, I appreciate it, man. You got me going on this. And so I want to thank Rose for kicking me in the keister to get this one done. This was a fun because, again, a lot of these shows, memory lane. You know,
yeah, it was a wonderful show, Jerome. I had such a good time. Brought back a lot of fun memories for me.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of all of our shows so far is to look at this stuff and remember and talk about how it impacted us, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Mark is a dancer. I still want to see to the cartoon crew.
I'm sure
cartoon crew, if you have a picture of Mark as a dancer, we want to see it. I'll pay money.
Hard.
I've got $1.
My shift back then, I think I was 18 years old when I was dancing.
Oh, you young whippersnapper.
My shift was 11 to 4. You know, and I was dancing on top of a huge speaker. So, you know, it was us and a few of us. So anyway,
your hearing is still intact, Mark.
What is that now?
Your hearing. You got me.
He got you.
He got me.
I didn't hear you though. What did you say?
She was surprised that your hearing's still intact.
Oh, surprise! Oh, well, yeah. That's another issue. But no, I have incredible hearing, by the way. Anyway, so the disputes have already been submitted by me while you guys were talking. So we're gonna see what happens. But nonetheless, it was 2 minutes 50 seconds of content that Warner Brothers Music Group didn't like. but that's okay because it's going to be a weekly thing with us. They're not going to like everything that we do.
No.
I'm more concerned about Jennifer and Joe not being able to get on after I've posted a number of links. I'm going to have to create some sort of format of all of the locations that we are broadcasting from so that if you're knocked off of one, just go to the next one,
Yeah.
And obviously Jennifer and Joe did not or could not do that, but that's why I was asking for Cheryl to chime in occasionally. So I know that we're not knocked off on this one. And this is the NBL, the Classic Television SmackDown page that she was viewing us from, and she seemed to be fine.
Here's my question for you and for our audiences. Mark it does really good job of recording what we do, and it goes to the HWWS YouTube channel on a rerun as a recording. So you should be able to see it next week. Is it? Do they run it next week? Right? They'll put it up.
Yeah, but soon to come. There is actually a Saturday Morning Cartoon YouTube channel. There is not a Classic Television SmackDown YouTube channel, which I will be creating soon.
Okay.
A Generalized NBL Entertainment Group YouTube channel. So all of our contact can be put on those pages permanently for people to find. What I have been finding is that Twitch doesn't touch us. I also broadcast over Twitter. Okay, so I just need to get those links out to people because they don't seem to come over our Facebook pages when they're being announced on Twitch and Twitter. So I'm going to have to figure something out on that as well. Yes, Cheryl, you're correct. You would have messaged us if you got knocked off. So,
right.
So we'll figure something out so more and more people can find us when they have lost us, put it that way. This was great. I can't wait till tomorrow morning. I'm exhausted. I may go back to bed, but I haven't had dinner yet. So I got to make a decision on what I'm going to do.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, guys, appreciate everything you guys have done. Thank you, everyone for watching us. We're going to go ahead and sign off, and we will see you tomorrow morning.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.